I was watching my dog lying in the sun, and I just thought maybe I should try and draw him. And I took a piece of charcoal from the previous night's fire, from the fireplace, and I drew him, and the girls were so excited and they saw a resemblance. So I thought, okay, maybe let's give it another go. And
Wow.
yes. And I made an elephant, a baby elephant. That was my first painting. And not having any paint, I used the kids' craft paint, and I didn't know how to mix colors back then, so I just took nail varnish for the colors that I didn't have. And so that was basically the end of it.
This is amazing. So great to meet you here on Zoom.
Yes, thank you, and thank you for the opportunity.
It's a great pleasure. Tell me, you are in Hermanus in South Africa.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Did you grow up there?
I grew up on a farm near Hermanus, and then moved all around the place, and then back to Hermanus about 15 years ago. Yes.
Wonderful. It's such a beautiful town, and it's on the seaside.
Yes, so it's amazing. We've got the best of both mountains and sea. So, yeah, it's just magical to live here.
So what inspires you more, the mountains or the sea?
I'm more of a mountain girl.
Oh, okay.
So, usually when I drop the kids off at school, I'm roaming the mountains, and you can see the sea from there. So, I go there with my dogs and get some inspiration for my paintings, and just to unwind and start the day right. So, very privileged to live here.
But you grew up on a farm, you said. So nature, is that something that you enjoy? I mean, or being in nature?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. It's just so calming to me, and it brings out that inner child. And then, obviously, when I grew up on that farm, we had such like space and freedom, and like this careless, carefree upbringing. So being in the wild and in the mountains, that lots of my paintings are inspired by my rich childhood memories. And I wasn't that girl who played with dolls. We were always up in trees or building houses in the woods, and so staying up late by the fires and cooking grass and lots of imaginary play. So yes.
Yeah, and so you are growing up on the farm. So did you already then painted or drew pictures and things like that? Were you already then sort of an arty child?
Not at all. No, I at the most I drew stick figures in the cake flour on top of the table when my mom was baking. But no, I wasn't arty at all. My parents instilled in us like a love for reading, literature, poetry, and that, and the arts. But I never saw myself as being, talented in that area. It was, only 5 years ago, when I was going through a difficult time. I guess with many artists that are self-taught, it sometimes comes out of a place of hardship or mourning even. So that was 2019. I was just jamming with the girls. We were crafting around the table on a Sunday afternoon, and I was watching my dog lying in the sun, and I just thought maybe I should try and draw him. And I took a piece of charcoal from the previous night's fire, from the fireplace, And I drew him, and the girls were so excited, and they saw a resemblance. So I thought, okay, maybe let's give it another go. And
Wow.
yes, and I made an elephant, a baby elephant. That was my first painting. And not having any paint, I used the kids' craft paint, and I didn't know how to mix colors back then, so I just took nail varnish for the colors that I didn't have. And so that was basically the end
This
of it.
is
I never stopped.
amazing. I've never heard this story. I've heard of self-taught artists, but not in this way. But how amazing! But I can immediately now draw the line to your time on the farm. Where you said you just did things and just experimented with things. And I sometimes think that that's where these things come from. That we're not that you're not scared to experiment. You were not scared to take the charcoal from the fire and just start drawing.
Yes, and I'm glad that I don't have an art background or studied art, because so many of my fellow artist friends are afraid to try new things or move beyond a certain style or genre, because they always hear that voice of criticism at the back of their heads. And I don't know anything about that, which is such a blessing. I know about that because I studied occupational therapy, and I still hear my professors or my their criticism in the background whenever I do something OT related. So I get that, but just grateful that I don't see myself as every work is free to be enjoyed, and if you don't like it, move on, then it's not for you. So I strongly
Absolutely.
believe that everything I make is for someone specific. So it gives me also the freedom to create beyond what I like. So it's what needs to come out comes out, and then wonder by wonder, there's always a buyer, and if it's not today, it might be in a few years, but I'm not worried about something sitting on the shelf, or I don't like go over painting because no one's buying it. I've done that before, but that was just because I didn't have any money to buy new canvases.
But you're so right. And I've just recently had the conversation with my daughter because I saw a little program where they say that sometimes when you're so into studying something that you sort of miss thinking about it, because you just so thrown into it. You have to study, you have to finish your assignments, and you have to have a certain mark to pass, and that sort of takes away thinking, or really putting your mind into something else. And this I can now sort of think about what you're saying. So you have total freedom, so you do what you think, what comes from within, so you don't necessarily paint for a critic or a client, or you paint from within.
Yes. Now that you're mentioning that, I remember I had a taste of that when my art's been exhibited in a gallery in Montreal, Canada, a few years ago. And the owner of the gallery, it's like family owned, for generations. So it was very like cutting edge. And for the first time, I had to deal with criticism. And she ordered a few abstracts because they were selling well in like mainly monochromatic works. And I was like, but I'm not in a monochromatic mood now. She was like, just man up and do it. And but it's also good to have a critic, because she did teach me a few things, like, because I didn't know. No one taught me. She said, when you do an abstract, remember to keep turning the canvas. So it can go both ways for, horizontal or portrait for a buyer, maybe it's for a specific wall, but they want to turn it. And I was like, okay, well, I've never thought about that. So, yeah, but then it went well there. But, when you're new, they market you and you are being seen and it goes well. But then after a while, I just felt that it would move quicker in South Africa because my market and my audience is here. So I just said to her, I want it back. And she was like, what? You're being represented and now you want it back? I'm like, yes, I need to make money. Give it back. And I sold them immediately. So, yeah. But maybe later again, I will enter the international market again. But for now, I'm happy just to serve the South African crowd and, one step at a time.
Yeah, but I spoke to a sculptor in South Africa, and he said we talked about the fact that sometimes the galleries want you to do a specific thing because they think that would sell. And he,
Yes.
he was like in two about it because he didn't want to go that route. He wanted to stay true to his art. So, do you also feel like that?
Yes, I do. I won't say I'm a rebel, but it has to come from the heart. So it's not like it's a printing machine, So monochromatic sell. Now I have to make more, but then if my heart is not in it, yes, I'd rather wait for a gallery that would, approach me, taking me as I am, rather.
Yeah.
And then, I did everything in reverse. I started painting just before COVID hit South Africa. So end of 2019, and then March 2020, it was lockdown, like a complete lockdown. So I was forced to. I remember I tried to sell to galleries or to just put it there on consignment because I was starting to run out of space. I used to paint every day back then. And then it was lockdown, so I was forced to advertise on social media and to explore Instagram and all of that. So back then I thought, I'm screwed. Who would buy when it's the end of the world and spend all your money on art? But yeah, luckily for us, it was a good time to sell because everyone was, I guess, at home looking at your walls and so it
redecorating the house and things like that.
Yeah, that was like a thing back then. So I started selling in May that year, and ever since, just never stopped. And so I was forced to get to the bottom of marketing on social media, and whereas other artists would, paint and then you take it to a gallery and then you have solos and then group, whatever. And I never did that, still haven't. And that's not really my main purpose. I paint because I love it. And yes, I also need to make a living as a mom of 3 girls. So I just keep on painting and selling online. And last year I decided to open my own little gallery in town.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so it's in the heart of Hermanus, and it's a beautiful prime spot in terms of art. We have like a first Friday art walk every month, and about 22 galleries on the map. And then everyone walks around and enjoy a glass of wine and dinner afterwards. So we stay open until about 9 in the evenings, then once a month. So I'm in a good position there, but still learning the gallery way now. I thought when I open it, like all my clients would come, but most of them are in Joburg and not here. So it doesn't look like that. It's like any business. You have to put up with it for 3 to 5 years before people find you. So I'm still learning.
It's probably there where I saw Jaak de Priester with one of your paintings.
Yes.
So there's your gallery.
Yes. Yeah, he was very
So,
kind to give a shout out.
yeah, and that's where I saw it then. But Louisa, you have to take me now through from where you started with the charcoal from the fire to actually selling, because that you talk about it as if it's just a quick step, but there must have been a process. When did you start realizing that you can sell your paintings or that you want to?
Ever since I started, I was so excited about every painting that I knew it wasn't to hide under your bed; it was to be out there. So I had this urge to show it to the world, and but I didn't know how.
But
And
did you
then
immediately start it with paint then? Because I mean, from charcoal, or did you keep with the medium of charcoal then?
no, within half an hour I put that down, and then I wanted to explore the children's acrylic paints.
Yeah.
And it suited me. Sorry, that's my dog.
Mm-hmm.
It suited me well because I'm very impatient. I want to see results quickly. So acrylics was a good medium for me, and I ever since stuck to that. I explored a bit of watercolor, and I love inks because it's so it's got a mind of its own and a will of its own. So the flow of that, and just to allow the painting to become what it wants to become. I love that. But mainly acrylics turned out to be my favorite medium. So I painted whatever I wanted, my dogs, my cats, and landscapes, whatever, even portraits. And then
Wow.
I remember a friend of mine asked me, have you sold anything yet? Because I remember I created a Facebook page immediately and posted it there. And every time I said to him, no, not yet, but I'm not worried. Even if I never sell, I will never stop painting because it's addictive and it's such a good outlet for me. I was a mom of three little babies. One was still very tiny. So I just felt almost like cabin feverish, and I can't just leave them and run up the mountains whenever I wanted to get rid of frustration. So that was my escape. And then when it was lockdown, I decided to try out like really marketing and not just posting, by boosting ads and setting your boosts for a specific target market, age,
Oh,
gender,
okay, yeah.
interest, all of that. So, and I tried that out, I think, for about 50 Rand just to see maybe, it's not working. And immediately there was a buyer, and so that just fueled my motivation to keep on boosting and posting. And then eventually I also went over to Instagram.
But so
And
you actually didn't just learn to the art, the art form or painting, but you also then suddenly learned marketing as well.
yes, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So are you a good businesswoman?
I don't know. I hate being in my own gallery because I see myself, I told you, as very shy. And talking about my own work, I don't know.
Is it?
It's either I want to start crying or I want to burst out laughing, or both at the same time, which is so inappropriate when you have a serious buyer in front of you. There's just too many emotions. And then also the excitement about this possible sale that I can't keep my mouth shut. So I have someone else at the gallery, and she's good with people, and I just paint. So I don't think I'm a good businesswoman, but if I'm behind the scenes and behind a screen, I can sell a painting without talking. So
Okay. But I So I asked a painter once if it's difficult for him to sell the painting because you spend a lot of time with it, and of course there's a story behind it. So is it for you difficult to sell a painting? Do you have some sort of attachment to your paintings?
I do, yes. I often make a print for myself before I sell something that's close to my heart or something that's really relevant at that time. So the ones that they're all special, but the ones that are telling my story, I do make prints of them and then make a limited edition range available. And then I keep one to myself. But yes, yeah. In sharing the story behind it, I think I'm pretty good with that, as long as I'm not, have to speak into a camera or anything. I can write this to prospective clients, yes. I work also with a WhatsApp catalog. I don't do things the way it should be. One should have a website, but I only started to make one now. So up until now, it was just social media and this WhatsApp catalog. That was, I don't know if it will help someone who wants to start off, but yeah, that's how
So what exactly is the WhatsApp catalog?
Instead of the normal WhatsApp app, you get the WhatsApp Business app. And if you have WhatsApp Business, you can create a catalog with your paintings, prices, and descriptions. Yeah, and then so whenever someone's messaging me, there's an automatic reply, always giving them the catalog to browse while they wait for my reply. So yeah, that's been my tool, and it's worked so far, so good.
Amazing. So now for you, and as you say, you've got your own gallery now, and people visiting. So that also, do you market that also, that that you get visitors to your gallery?
Yes. A friend of mine suggested that I just try to be more out there and to be a bit more bold in painting in front of actual people in the gallery. So recently I started to do that on those first Friday evenings. I took my kids so I can hide behind them. And I sat at my desk and Therese was doing all the chit chats with the people, and I just took some ink works and created a few pieces there, just quietly by myself. And the next time I was brave enough to do an abstract, or it started as an abstract, turned out to be a rhino in the end. But I had my headphones on, so no one talks to me, which is great. And I'm just in my zone doing my thing. And afterwards, only I saw the videos of me sitting there, and there was like lots of feet and many people, just being in awe. And I saw a little boy that was so inspired by this.
Really?
So only afterwards I saw how amazing it actually was to people. So this Friday coming up in September, I will do it again, and every time I will be more open and hopefully in the end engaging more.
No, but it's how amazing that you talk about the little boy that was inspired, because I'm so passionate about the fact that our children should be inspired by art, by all forms of art, because that's where the seed is planted many times, and I do think it's like you said, when you started, when you were a child, you only draw stick figures. And I sometimes wonder if there's not that sort of preconception that you have to be able to, as a child, already, draw these amazing pictures to be able to be an artist later in your life. And you just showing and you being proof for that.
Yes. also enjoy inspiring my girls. From a tiny age, they were always there, you know. Many of my videos, my reels I made, I don't include them in it, but at my feet, they're always there painting, one of them at least. Also, you know, so it's a mess. It's like paint all over the place. But when I'm in the zone, I don't mind about, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with them being able to see that I can do what I enjoy and make a living from that, that's amazing to me. I want them to see that you don't have to be a doctor or a lawyer because that's what everyone wants you to be. You
Exactly.
can be happy and fulfilled and successful as a woman doing what you love. And sometimes when I notice the girls, you know, just need a bit of a lift, or they're bored, or they are going through a difficult thing at school or whatever, being an occupational therapist, you know, we always try to help people through the means of activities to lift the spirits as well. I would take them one by one to my studio, and then I'd give them a proper canvas and my paint, and give them room to be creative and do whatever they like.
Wow.
And then I facilitate the selling process as well, and then they can sell through my platforms. And that is, yeah, that gives them
That's
such
amazing. Yeah.
so it's an opportunity to teach them about business and margins, and you know, I deduct the canvas cost and the paint and the couriers, and they are fine with that. So yeah, it's good to teach children from a young age, to not about just how to make money, but how to express yourself and to get rid of all those feelings and put it out there, and then stand back and see, wow, I made that. And
yeah. But isn't it so important that actually art should be taught in schools, and alongside all the other subjects, and it shouldn't just be, you know, like this side thing, or like a school that I visited a while ago, where it's just a few children who take art because their parents think it's not a subject to take because it wouldn't bring you anything. But yet, like you say, you know, it's a way to express yourself. You don't have to become an artist. You don't have to become a painter. But that that way of getting rid of these feelings, or putting the feelings onto something, you know, that can help any child.
Yes. I was so surprised to hear last year at my youngest daughter's graduation in kindergarten. They all had this opportunity to say something when they received their whatever in the front. And back in the day, when we were that age, everyone wanted to be either, you know, a doctor or a policeman or strange things. But 90% of the kids in my daughter's class said they wanted to become artists. So
really,
yeah, so I was
amazing.
so excited to hear that.
Yeah,
so excited for the art industry in South Africa.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Now, I do hope and wish that many of the schools in Hermanus bring the children to visit you, you know, at your gallery, and teachers. Yeah, because I think it would be amazing for children to have that exposure as well, and to talk to you, and maybe hear your story and know that there is a future in art.
Absolutely. I'd be thrilled to do that. Yes.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I spoke to a few dramas pupils at a school as well, and I was just so amazed at how they their mature outlook on how they can see that drama, for example, can help them in their future careers, although they're maybe not going to become actors or actresses.
Yes.
And I thought, well, that's something that art brings. It brings a different way of looking at things, and it sort of opens the mind a little bit to look ahead, and to see. To make these connections between art and other careers. So I was really surprised at their age, that they could come up with these thoughts.
Yeah. Wow.
But Louisa, tell me now, what are the wishes for you for the future?
I think, to be honest, it would be wonderful if I could come established as an international artist. Yes, and like I said, my deepest wish is for others, not only my children, but for others to be inspired and to see that we are all created to create. It doesn't have to be visual arts, but it's music, it's whatever, poetry. And if we don't tap into that, we're missing out on something magical. So, yeah, to be an inspiration to others, and not to be scared to put your work out there. That would be, I'm considering to maybe start like abstract classes, but not like, I'm not a big fan of the paint and sip movement.
Okay.
I like sipping, but not when I'm painting that much.
Okay.
Because I feel that, it's something that needs to be felt and not to be numbed. So many women do these evenings, it's like book club evenings, but then they're so afraid to start painting, they have to take a few wines before that. But what's the point then? You have to express what you're feeling, and that has to be sober and completely raw and honest with yourself. And my other problem with that is just that if I were to sit next to someone and there's this picture in the front of this scene that you have to paint, number one, what if I don't want to paint that now, but now we all have to do it, and then you end up comparing your work with the person next to you, and then it's all just, I don't know, it becomes, I miss the point then. So my idea is to start classes where it's one-on-one, more like intimate. I can just see myself getting a woman in and guide her through, having a canvas ready, having candles lit, and a playlist that suits the mood. And I did that for a friend of mine, my best friend in Brazil. She just went through chemo. She was in Hermanus for 4 months for a treatment. And when it was done, before they went back to Brazil, I just felt strongly that I have to give her the opportunity to paint in my studio. And I knew she would be a bit, scared to try it. She's done it before, but she had that painter's block, because it was more like what she studied, in the line of what she studied. So I just set the scene, and from the moment I gave her my headphones, and I asked her, would you like your own playlist or mine? And she said, whatever you want me to listen to. And then she just started crying. And from start to finish, she danced, she cried, and I never had to guide her. I was just there doing my own thing in the corner. and I gave her the canvas and a pen, and on the blank canvas, she started just writing like promises spoken over, or inspirational quotes and words that needed to come out. And she put it out there while I was mixing about 20 colors for her. I lined that up, and as I continued, she could start at the one end with the colors that were available, and it was beautiful. It was just so peaceful, and I could see there was this release in her, and she ended up making something extraordinary. And yeah, so I shipped it to her the other day, and it's now hanging in her house. And it's that hope, that's it's I don't have words.
Yeah, but it's that emotion that she had that's now fixed on a canvas, basically. So she can now look at it and know that feeling that she had while she did it. That's amazing. Yes. But Louisa,
that's the idea that I have to maybe give that opportunity to women. Yes.
If I was closer to you, I would have loved to do that. I think that would be something, and like you say, that's that intimate moment where you by yourself, you create that atmosphere because you are you have that sort of freedom. So your energy is also then connecting with the person, and I think that's amazing. And it's true that the moment you are in a group of people, you do compare yourself, or you do feel, well, I don't,
maybe I'm not enough. Yes.
Yeah. Well, go for it. I think there's a lot of people who would absolutely, benefit from it, from doing that. Yeah. Louisa, but this is so great to talk to you. I really hope all your wishes come true. I really hope that you can do this more for people that you want to do. I hope that you inspire more young people in your area and all over South Africa, so that art could be more sort of seen as an important subject in schools, not just art as in painting, but all forms of art. Like you say, that not everybody has to become a lawyer or a doctor.
Yes.
And I love the cat.
She wants to be the center of attention.
Yeah, I'm sure she was some sort of celebrity in her past year. She wants an interview.
Thank you so much, Petra. I really, it was good for me just to, I see I've got lots to say. So
you have, and very interesting things to say.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's a great pleasure. And I always love self-taught stories, where people talk about how that process of discovering what you actually can do. And I love that because I'm also a self-learner. I love learning things and teaching myself. Not that I don't think it's necessary to study something. I think that has its place. But I think some people just benefit from learning themselves, and I think they have to also that also has to be appreciated. Not that you always have to think, where's the paper, where's the proof of your studies, but that the proof is in what you are doing, So I really celebrate what you did and what you are doing.
Thank you so much.
It's a great pleasure.